Hey, yo, yo. Yo, check it. This my special attack, 100 swords, 100 episodes, and here's to 100 more. Who got next? Place your change on the cabinet. Air Combo University graduates juggle my enemies before tagging in the Masters hero. Pros in action, toe tagging champions getting active. The message will always get near you. Return to the dream team, Spider-Man and Strider hear you. When the mask is on, I can't promise Cyclops to keep his glasses on. The handshake was potent. The inner glow shown as a mega optic blast, trailing behind the Shinku Hadouken. How you gon' dodge both of them? Blast you down to the last atom. Best regards from the proton cannon you couldn't fathom. If you were raised on gaming and put a controller up, I'm old enough to study the meta before I bless you. We understood space in the dash clean. Now we need the Justin Wong poster right next to the pro athletes. Final justice like a primary lotus from out the sky. Stars and stripes reminding you racism is still alive. Bring a plasma sword to a gunfight. Hayato, bring a hurricane kick. Tatsumaki Senpaku. One time for all my otakus who played the console till their eyes closing. Probably forgot to study for their finals. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash. Welcome to the SwordCast. SwordCast. My wordplay, my swordplay when blades clash.
Boom. Whoop.
Yoga fire. Yoga fire.
Yo got. Oh, you recording?
Yeah.
We're back. The SwordCast, episode 178, baby. I think something like that.
Yup.
Hey man, last time was the May the 4th episode.
Wait a minute. I just saw the subject line to that
What
email.
are you talking about?
Nothing. He gets it. Funny. Anyways.
X-Men!
Shit was sweeter than a mug.
X-Men 97. Spoiler alert, this is gonna be a big time X-Men episode. If you don't like X-Men, you might as well turn it off.
Right. If you don't like X-Men, like,
yeah,
bruh.
Man, you're not gonna like this episode because we're gonna talk a lot about Marvel's best superhero team. But yeah, man.
That's
that
right.
said,
said what he said too. Because it is.
But with that said, man, what are you into currently, my friend?
I'm really not a whole lot, dog. I've let's see. I played basketball a couple of times since we last potted.
Last time you were talking about how you disrespected a young man by saying something before he shot the ball.
Yeah, so I went and played on that run again. I played a lot better. I was shooting that bitch straight. I was playing against. So there was a younger guy who came who was like tall. He was like 6'2", 6'3". He could shoot and was pretty good. And again, yeah, I know how you know how my meter is. Like in my prime, would this nigga have been a challenge? No, of course. I mean, he was like high school good. He wasn't like good for real. Right? He was. I mean, for that run, he was good. But for like real runs, he would have been all right. Right.
Right.
So I'm like playing. We started off playing 21, and he was shooting. He was making all the shots, and I'm really like not trying to compete like that. I'm just trying to get my knees WD-40'd up and my stretching and all of that stuff. And so
dude said WD-40 on the knees.
Yeah, and I had to get it. So this is like at the very beginning, but
that's hilarious.
I'm a great shooter, so like I typically win 21 when I play, just because like I'm not about to miss from the line. So I made a couple of shots, and then they started to go, ooh, this is getting kind of interesting. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. I ain't trying to compete against this nigga, dog. This nigga's like 25, bro. Like, I'm good. Like, I'm not trying to do all that.
Oh, my gosh.
And then they kept, ooh, I don't know. I was like, okay. All right, fine. I guess I got to win now. So I won. I mean.
Fine, I guess I got to win, though.
And I did. Now, I'll admit, he busted on pause. Wait a minute. I don't do that. I'm grown. on 20. So he missed. So he had to go back down to 15, and I had 18 at the time.
Bro,
So hit a jumper in another.
is that the best rule in a sports game ever?
Bro, it raises the stakes greatly.
There's been times when I was growing up and we would play 1 game of 21 would last for
like an hour. Yeah.
Because of that rule.
Yeah, facts. I love that rule, but I hate tips. I think tips are so trash.
Tips
bro.
are stupid.
Tips is what you do if you don't know how to hoop. Like that's some like
Facts.
country shit that you play out in the suburbs or something, bro. Like I hate that shit.
Hey,
dog.
tips, dude.
So dumb.
Nah,
But yeah, so I had to win, so we did. And then we played threes, and he was guarding me the whole time because he seen I could shoot. And I was like, man, what the fuck? I don't want to have to deal with this shit. But like, good man, I was shooting that bitch straight, and we kicked their ass. I think we won like, and it was like on paper, their team should have beat us, but it was just like, bro, making good passes, like setting screens. He was the only person on their team that could score. So I wasn't trying to guard him at first just because I wasn't trying to run around. And then he started destroying the guy who was guarding him. I was like, all right. Okay, fine. Move out the way. Let me grab him.
Bro, nothing worse than somebody else making you switch when
Bro,
you're playing
I hate that.
basketball.
Man. So
it's such a
yeah.
Oh, that's an ego killer, man.
It is. So I had to get out and guard him. I mean, he was a gimmicky shooter. I wouldn't call him a good shooter. He was a gimmicky shooter in the sense that like he had one of those like really quick like flick releases, and he shot kind of from like the chest. So like he didn't always need to like be squared up. So he just kind of turn around and like flick that bitch. And it right I'm like he making it a lot, but I don't know if I respect that shit for real.
Oh man,
Yeah, I mean.
nothing. Yeah,
It's hard to explain because to an untrained eye, it's like, oh, nigga hitting that bitch. Like, no, it's
mechanics.
It's different, bro. Like, because what happened was when I started to like get in his face, because his release point was too low. Like,
yeah, so you can't shoot it. You can't really shoot on a contested.
like when I was, he wasn't like pulling up, right? Like he would make it if I was guarding him, only if he like released it super quick. But if I was able to close out, like he wasn't making that shit.
Yeah, one of my best, Ben that plays for me. One of my best players, Ben. He's like 6'4", man, already for 13, 14 years old. But he has a very low release point, and I'm trying to get his release higher because he can shoot, but he can't shoot off the dribble because his release is so low. And I'm like, Ben, you're 6'4". If you get your release higher, nobody's blocking your shot ever.
Having a high release point is very useful for bigs. Having a super high release point is less useful for guards, but you still need to have it. It can't be below your head. It's got to be at least at your head. Like Steph Curry's release point right in front of his face. Some players, like if you look at Anthony Edwards, his release point is super high. His release point is a little bit too high for my taste, but what the fuck do I know? I mean, that nigga's in the NBA. But I wouldn't, if I was teaching somebody that, I wouldn't teach them that. I would, if you're a guard especially, I would have it a little bit. That way you can get to it quicker. You know what I mean? You can get to it off the dribble. You can be in the pocket already, right in front of your face. Can't be any lower than that though. Then he was good though. Shout out to my man. He was a good player. It was a nice little. I felt like I still had it. The fact that we were able to win consistently. I think we went like 6-2 or 7-2 or something like that. Made me feel like, oh, I still got this shit. When I decide to really like play and not just walk around, I can still be effective out here.
Facts.
Then I played yesterday and I fucked up because I picked the teams wrong. I don't know none of these people, and I picked the teams wrong. I picked the guy who I knew as opposed to the guy who was tall.
Oh, who was good?
Well, I didn't know how good he was. He was just tall.
There's nothing wrong with a little pickup loyalty, man.
Yeah, but it was in this case because we were playing threes, and the guy who made cat with me was like 6'2" or something, which for pickup is tall. And I should have picked the other kind of tall guy, but because I've seen him before and I knew he could hoop. But I played on the same team with this other guy last time. I was like, hey, I'm gonna pick my man's up, and that was a mistake because we had two. I was the tallest person.
Yo.
And the other two guys were, one guy who I picked up, he can shoot. The other guy was just kind of a scrappy hustle white guy. But like, I kind of realized like, damn, when we played before, you must have been overachieving because you are not as good as I thought. Not even like they were not able to box out at all.
You must have been overachieving,
bro. Like they were having trouble understanding the concept of boxing out. And I was like, dog, this is the only chance we have. You have to fucking box these guys out, bro. You have to.
You're not about to out jump.
Right, like stop trying to tip the ball. Like I know you hate that as a coach, bro.
Bruh,
stop tipping the ball.
How many? You came to a game where we got destroyed on rebounds because Reed was hurt. We had no size.
Stop trying to tip the ball, bro. That's never gonna work on somebody who's taller than you. Box him out.
Never.
So I played all right. Like I was hitting some jump shots, but we lost, and I hate losing. And then it started to rain, and I was like, man, fuck. So I kind of left with a sour taste in my mouth. Anyways, that's all I've been doing is trying to get back in basketball shape because I like to play basketball. Boom.
Oh, man. I have been... You know what I've been doing? I've been getting caught up on current X-Men stuff, comics. Well, more on that later. But let's talk about the X-Men 97 season finale, episode 10. Last week we talked about episode 9, which was incredible.
Yep.
We saw the Fatal Attraction storyline get adapted. And one thing I'll say about and not just X-Men 97, but the X-Men animated series from the 90s was good at this too. They do a really good job of condensing comic book storylines, and they can do them in an episode or two, and it's fine. They don't. I don't know. I don't really understand how they do it sometimes.
Think about it,
but they do though. They do a good job of condensing, some of these storylines from the comic books that can go on for a little bit.
Yeah,
when they do a good job of
think about what a comic panel is. It's just like a still frame. Mm-hmm. So like one comic book episode, one comic book issue, which is usually like 20 pages. It's probably like 10 minutes of a episode of a show. You know what I mean? Like you can tell the story quicker in animation form than, and now you can go into a lot more detail with a written or like a comic book panel, but to like move the story along fluidly, you can do that easily because like some of the comic book panels are like that take up 2 or 3 pages or 2 or 3, like a full spread. It's like one impact frame or like one moment in the show that takes like 2 seconds, right? So yeah, like to your point, a lot of adaptations can't do it well, and X-Men, really Spider-Man did a good job too, but they were produced by the same company, so that makes sense.
But yeah, they do a good job of that. And then we talked about episode 9 last week and how it was just one of the best, probably top 3 X-Men animated episodes in any show. It was really good. And then now we're on to the finale. What were your thoughts on the finale, episode 10 of X-Men 97, man?
It was everything I thought it would be and more. It actually was different than I thought it would be. They pulled a double swerve on us, dog.
They did. They double swerved us. Everything was pointing to Onslaught. Everything was pointing towards Onslaught. The Fatal Attraction storyline, the Professor Xavier mind wiping Magneto, the little Easter egg of the helmet being put on Xavier.
That was them saying, "Hey, we're gonna do Onslaught." That was them straight up saying that.
Here comes Onslaught.
But no. So here's what they did. They know that we know, right? Like they know who their audience is. They're people in their late 20s, early 30s, 40s, damn near at this point. They know that we know what's up. So I think what they did was they like, like we got it, but hold on a minute. I know you know what that is, but just wait a second. So I think Onslaught is inevitable. I think we will see him in season 2. If I had to guess, I would say, because obviously and we'll talk more about this, but they set up Age of Apocalypse. And I think that you'll probably see something where you have like dual storylines that end up at Onslaught at some point. I do think he will be a season 2 villain. Whether or not he is like defeated in season 2, I don't know. But I think we'll see him in season 2 at some point, probably towards the end.
Facts. And this episode was so good, man. Magneto finally waking up, doing his thing, and then
that was what he did. So this happened in the comic where he prevented Asteroid M from falling into destroying the planet.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have destroyed the planet, but like wiping out like everything. This was I mean, I don't remember when this happened. This was years ago. I didn't see it live because I was too young. But I remember retrospectively when people started talking about the idea of Omega level mutants and whether or not Magneto was one. This was the feat that what they were like.
yeah.
If that ain't an Omega level feat, then I don't know what is.
I wonder, because another thing they do good in the X-Men cartoons is they do a good job of almost blending stories
sure.
together.
Yeah, absolutely.
And because I want to say that he does that in Fatal Attractions, but I'm not sure. And then it also Fall of the Mutants too is another story that kind of comes to my mind from X Factor, but they had did a lot of that too with the whole Cyclops finding out that his his son was a Cable and all that stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, Asteroid M. There's been 5 versions of Asteroid M.
Avalon was the name of it, and Fatal Attractions. I know that for sure.
Yeah. So,
and Cable was somehow connected to that when it was Avalon, when it was that like space station that was.
Yeah, this is the one where he pulled it out of the sky.
Yeah, that's when did that happen? Do you know? Can you find that out? Can you find that out so I can
so I'd actually okay. Motherfucking see. Yeah, gotcha. I don't know if Yeah, okay. So this is Avalon is the one that we saw in Fatal Attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the rebuilt version of the previous version of Asteroid M, but pieced together with Shi'ar technology.
Ah, okay.
That's why it was so much bigger.
Got it.
And yeah.
It's fire. It was incredible. It was amazing, and I just think that this guy Magneto, man, what a great, not only what a great character, but also just the way that he's been done in this show has been absolute fire. I want to say he does that in the 90s comics at some point. Not entirely sure when, but it's a familiar moment to me. I just don't know exactly what happens.
Wait, what are you talking?
The asteroid.
I mean, I think he does it several times. Like okay. I think that bitch is always falling out the sky.
Facts.
And somebody got to pick that motherfucker up, and the only person that can do it is Magneto.
Is this guy. But then also, man, the cameos, all the superhero cameos were dope. Black Panther, Daredevil, the Spider-Man and Mary Jane cameo was cool, which I believe was supposed to be kind of a nod to the old show.
It was.
Because how the way that show ended, and then that was dope. And the way Iron Man, Captain America,
Doctor Strange,
Fantastic Four, maybe I don't remember.
No, the only Fantastic Four reference that I remember is Morph turning into Reed Richards.
Okay,
when he was fighting.
I could be. I mean, I didn't read so many X-Men comic books the last few days, all the current stuff. So that kind of some of these are blending together.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ending was fire. Then we got the Easter egg at the end, of course, which was where we got swerved. Just how you said, they were kind of steering us in the onslaught direction, only to swerve us with
Age of Apocalypse.
Age of Apocalypse.
And they're doing the full Age of Apocalypse. Because you see the two different timelines are the beginning and end of Age of Apocalypse.
Yes.
The beginning before he becomes, impacted by the
Egypt,
celestial technology.
Ship, yeah.
And then like at the end of where he's already been ruling in the year 4000. It's actually a different year. In the comics, it's the year 4000. I think it was like the year like 3996 or something like that in the TV show.
I'm just smiling because this all makes me very happy.
Yeah. Age of Apocalypse is a fire. And like, man, you just get so much.
You get a lot. You get so much out of it. That even after the event was over, there were still books like dedicated to that time period because it just gave you such a different.
Age of Apocalypse became its own like Marvel universe.
It did.
That's why
it gives you.
So there are two timelines like that. There's the Days of Future Past timeline, which is talked about, which is basically the entire premise of House of X, Powers of X.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is the Age of Apocalypse timeline, and they're both so like fleshed out that they both are their own like alternate realities at this point.
It's crazy. But yeah, the Apocalypse swerve, and it was really dope. I'm very excited. I love Apocalypse. I love Age of Apocalypse. I love where things are going. And again, they could still, although it seems, very obvious what's going to happen, it's just,
That's going to be dope. They already dropped enough information.
My name is in Sabadnor.
They dropped enough information for me to make a few deductions. One, I made a supposition that might have been Nate Gray, X-Man, not Cable. I don't think that's true. I think it's Nathan Summers.
Okay.
So Nate Gray is the version of Cable.
Mr. Sinister, right?
No,
Clone?
Yes. It's the version of Cable who doesn't have the techno-organic virus. So he's like fucking crazy powerful.
Yeah, because
like he's unfuckwittable.
This is, here we go, like going on another, but Strife is kind of represent that.
Hold on, wait. Hold the Strife thought, because there's something coming with him. Well, let me just say it. So you had Cable, Nathan Summers, who was the little boy that you see at the end. I'm pretty sure that's him. You got Mother Ascani, who is Rachel Summers.
Rachel Summers, yeah.
The daughter of Jean Grey and
Cyclops.
Jean Grey, not Madeline Pryor, Jean Grey and Cyclops. And then you have Strife. In that Age of Apocalypse storyline, they are trying to save. So Mother Ascani comes into the past and like offers. They kind of did this really quickly and kind of did it from a different perspective in the X-Men 97. But Mother Ascani like comes in while they're fighting Apocalypse and is like, I can save him, but it has to go right now.
He gets infected to save him from the techno-organic virus. Yeah.
And so in that future, Apocalypse finds out about this and tries to.
X-Men got so much crazy time travel stuff.
So they try to save Nathan with the techno-organic virus. They can't do it, so they clone him instead. And that clone is Apocalypse comes to try to stop that from happening, but he doesn't know that Nathan has been cloned. So he takes the clone, and the clone grows up with Apocalypse and becomes Strife. My prediction is that he will be a mid-boss in season 2.
Strife?
Yes.
Oh, that would be so fire.
I think. I mean, all the nuggets are there for it. We'll see. They could choose. He's available. Let me put it this way. He is available if they want him.
Yeah.
They can easily write him in.
And as you said before, Strife doesn't have the techno-organic virus, so he is crazy powerful because one of the things with Cable is he's never at full power because his body is using his power to sustain the techno-organic virus.
Yep.
So
if he lets up for even a second, there are versions of there's stories where Cable like is incapacitated and almost dies like within minutes because of
he's not concentrating his power.
How powerful that virus is.
And also, I know we love when Magneto rips Wolverine's adamantium out in Fatal Attractions, but he does that to Cable too. And that story he makes the techno-organic virus go crazy, and it just like destroys his body. It's
niggas really don't want to fuck with Magneto,
bro.
There aren't a lot of people.
Stay home and lock the doors.
There's not a lot of people who could give Apocalypse a fade in a 1-on-1, and I'm not sure if Magneto can do it. But
bro, he's done it twice. So he's done it twice that I know of. So
I don't know about that. I mean, yes, bro, he's defeated him.
I love Apocalypse, bro. I have seen Magneto destroy this man twice.
Where? When? What was the context?
Obviously, we all know about Age of Apocalypse when he rips him in half. Mm-hmm. And then there's another story. I don't remember exactly what it is, but he literally basically tells him like, your mind is made of metal pretty much because of the celestial technology, and he just warps his brain and like destroys him.
I'll just say this: I'll have to do some research. I'll take your word for it, but like there are versions of Apocalypse that I don't think.
No, that's facts.
That I don't think Magneto can fuck with. But the point I'm trying to make is that the fact that we are even having this debate is proof of how fucking powerful Magneto is.
Yeah, and it's also proof just. As powerful as Apocalypse is, he's an external, but he's not technically an Omega level mutant. It's just another level of power, man.
He's not. So like, let's talk about the terminology here real quick. So an external is a type of being. They're not all mutants, but like it's a type of being. That has. So the definition of external means that you can't be affected by age or sickness. And most of the externals are mutants. And some of them are also deviants that were created by the motherfuckers the Celestials.
The Celestials.
Yeah. and it was the job of the Eternals to like eliminate them. Also, Cannonball is probably an external
too,
but we don't know for sure. It hasn't been confirmed. But so
ridiculous power.
Yeah, that ain't just.
Bro,
literally, that's his power.
I saw a Cannonball action figure that was fire though. Literally,
fire. Hey, Cannonball, what's your power?
Oh my God! He's fine.
Yeah. So to fine tune the definition of Omega level, and I'm very glad that Hickman like gave us a clear definition because there are a lot of people who had different definitions,
and it was a lot of. I feel everything was pretty much speculation too until he kind of literally gave us a list of.
Yeah. The only like before that list, the only inarguable, like non-debated Omega levels were Jean Grey, Iceman, and the only reason we knew about Iceman is because when Emma Frost took over his body and was like, oh wait, this nigga's way more powerful than he realizes. Mr. M, Absalom Mercator, who's kind of a minor character but still Omega level. Jamie Braddock, Exodus, and Vulcan. I think that's it. And so there were a lot of other people who we thought were Omega levels, like Magneto, and Storm, and not Exodus. I already said him. The other one, Proteus, but we didn't have confirmation that they were until this issue, or I forget. I think it might have been issue 1 of House of X.
Yeah.
And so the way that Hickman defines it is that this is a mutant who has a power that has no definable upper limit. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're the most powerful in their field, Because, for example, they actually give this example in the book, in the definition. I think they say that Jean Grey is an Omega level telepath and
but not a telekinetic.
But not which I didn't. I wonder if he made a mistake there.
Well, I think technically a telepath is like more mind.
Yeah, but that's the thing that she's supposedly not as good at. She's supposed to be an Omega level telekinetic. At least that's how I understood it. And I meant to like do some research on that.
Telekinetic would be more moving things.
Stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
But whatever the case, she's not an Omega level telepath. Or according to Hickman, she is. So if that's what he says, it is what it is.
Right.
But she's not as strong right now as Professor X is as a telepath, or even Emma Frost. But like theoretically, they have limits to their power, and in theory, Jean Grey doesn't. Even though she's not shown that. I mean, she with the Phoenix Force, she's clearly shown it. But like just base level, she hasn't shown it. Apocalypse is a great example where he is vastly powerful. Also, Apocalypse is like kind of hacked a little bit, right? Like Apocalypse's power, his actual power set is immortality because he's an external. Because he's an external, but that's just a crazy immortal. That's my power. I can't die. Just gonna go about
all I gotta do is chill for a minute after I take some damage, and I'm good.
And size manipulation, so he can like make his body grow bigger or smaller. But like in addition to that, when he was abducted by and experimented on by the Celestials, they granted him like damn near God status powers with their technology. So like with respect to like just because also another thing that happened, and this is why I asked the question, when was that battle? Apocalypse has been nerfed like over the years.
Oh, big time. Yeah, he's even in this stuff. He's so good now. Oh my gosh, I love him. But he is not. I told you. I don't know if it's done by design, but his character is looking less and less. Relying on celestial technology as the 100%. Stories go on, and I think I mean
100% intentional.
A genius, so I'm pretty sure it's intentional.
Yeah, 100% intentional. But he's been nerfed significantly because the Celestials they rolled up on him one time and was like, you know what, come up off that shit right quick. And he's
and they have when he when he kind of connected with the Celestial ship and technology, they communicated with him basically, we'll let you have all this, and you're gonna be a god, but we're gonna keep tabs on you, and whenever we want to come take it back,
it's not up to you, bro.
It's up. We're gonna do it. And that's the deal. You know what I mean?
So I like fully imbued with the Celestial, like full range of their powers. It's tough. It's tough,
bro. What he say in the 90s cartoon? I am as far ahead of you as
in the Martin Luther King voice. I am as far away from mutants as they are from you. What the? That's a bar, dog.
He was dropping crazy.
Speaking of bars, I meant to say this. This is totally not really. I meant to say this in my basketball segment. I heard the fucking funniest, most disrespectful thing ever. This is the funniest way to describe somebody being trash at basketball, dog.
Oh, gosh.
Somebody said, one of the guy that I was guarding, not the guy who was good, this other guy I was guarding, he took an open three and he had like this weird, like, he had this like weird like jackknife form, and somebody was like, "Damn, that nigga look like he got fouled on an open jump shot." That shit had me dying, dog. That's trash,
bro.
Looked like you got fouled on an open jumper, and then every time he started shooting, I would be like, "Foul up top." Damn, dog. That's an all-time great bar right there for basketball. He was kidnapped.
Oh my
He was wide open.
That's terrible. That's so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's tough.
But sometimes when you see guys try to play ball that don't play ball, it really
it's silly.
It is silly, but it almost like shows you it almost shows you how much goes into being a good basketball player. Because shooting a basketball is a weird thing.
Yeah.
For somebody who doesn't have
a concept
the sport.
of it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Because you can't just throw it. You have to.
No, you can't just football it.
It's weird. It is weird, man. It is very weird.
Anyways, Apocalypse
Fire. Let's go. Tier list. X-Men 97 was better than we could have imagined. And now we are going to do a tier list of the episodes. Let's go. X-Men 97. We haven't done a tier list on the show in a minute. It's been a while.
We haven't. Whoops. I'm trying to get the browser pulled up here. 1 second. We haven't in a minute. We're gonna actually use a tier list. If I can figure out how to do this. Display capture. Okay. And then we're gonna go,
Hero doing technology stuff on the fly.
Somebody gotta do it.
It ain't gonna be me. I'm gonna rub these twigs together. Start a fire over here. I am not dealing with technology.
All right, cool. So, these aren't in order though. It looks like
they are. The episodes are in order. They are in order.
Are they? Are they in reverse order?
No, I believe they're in order from first episode to second episode. Are they not?
No, this is definitely not the second episode.
Definitely not the second episode. Oh, sorry. I kind of thought they were, so that kind of is going to make it tough because we're going to have to be able to identify an episode from an image. Actually, I might be able to, though.
Okay.
Let's see.
So this is the first episode. I know that much.
It is the first episode. Let's see. Mutant Liberation Begins as the second one. So let's see if we can. Let's try to order them in order of episode first. So the Mutant Liberation Begins. That's the episode where Magneto basically comes and is the leader of the X-Men, and it's before he gets the helmet, and it is.
It's also the episode that they fight Madeline Pryor. No?
I think that was that the third one, or was the
no? That was the third one because they did 2 episodes to start.
They did, yeah.
And that was the cliffhanger. Okay.
Facts.
And then episode 4 was Mojo World. What was episode? Oh, that was Gambit's episode. Oh man.
Remember it was the 5th one, right?
Oh no, that's episode 9. Okay, so I'm gonna assume that it's 5. What was episode 6?
6 was Life Death Part 2. So that would have been the I believe 6 is Storm getting her powers back.
Yeah, and it's also right after it would have been Lilandra and Professor X as well.
Yes. I believe so.
I think I got them in order now.
7 would have been 7 would have been the one with Cyclops trying to find Bolivar Trask.
And Rogue beating the dog shit out of Captain America.
Rogue
or bullying Captain America. Yep. Okay, I got that one.
And throwing his shield over Mount Everest.
Yep.
Oh, hilarious.
And then
8 would have been Toleration is Extinction, the first part where the
attack on the
Sentinels were coming online. Yep. Okay. And then 9 would have been the GOAT.
I got them in order. Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, episode 1. First of all, listen, dog. There's no episode, in my opinion, that's below. I want to say
B tier.
I would say A tier, but just for the sake of having
a good time,
I'll put it B tier. And there's only one that I can think of. As a matter of fact, I can do it right now. The weakest one, in my opinion, even though still very good,
is the Mojo World.
The Mojo World one. So we'll just put that at B tier for now.
All right, you want to just go chronological from the beginning?
Yes.
First episode, to me, my X-Men, I mean, dog, this is S tier. I'm sorry. This show immediately came out swinging. The action scene was fire. The storm was incredible. And like you kind of talked about this when we first started talking about this show. One of the maybe the most accurate portrayal of what Cyclops' powers are actually supposed to be. And you were saying how it's a concussive blast. It's not like a laser beam.
It's not fire.
So amazing.
Yes. Episode
2. Mutant Liberation begins. I mean, Magneto showed up on this show.
This nigga was talking so much shit, bro. He was talking crazy to everybody, dog. That speech at the end of episode 2 was one of the best speeches ever in fiction.
So good.
I'm fine with either A or S tier, honestly. Like,
I mean, for this being Magneto's first appearance in the show, and it's this impactful, I think it's S tier.
Get an argument for me.
And then the next one was Fire Made Flesh. Yep. This is the episode where we find out that Jean is in fact a clone.
Madeline Pryor. If anybody who knows their stuff knew at the end of episode 2 that was actually, as soon as you saw her pregnant, you knew that was Madeline Pryor and not Jean Grey. So like immediately.
Yeah. So this was a good episode. I would go A tier. I would actually even be okay with B tier for this one, but if you want to put it in A, I'll put it in A. It was really good, but I didn't think it was up to.
It wasn't at that level, but it would be towards the middle or end of A tier, but still, I would give it that just because all these episodes was fire, bro.
Facts. And then we get to the Motendo. This was the Mojo World episode. We already put it in B tier, but even like you said I think this last week too, this episode kind of put some respect on Jubilee's powers. And I think she's another character her powers are kind of we never
ambiguous.
never really got a great explanation of exactly what she can do. Yeah. And I think this episode kind of put a little bit of it in perspective. So that episode was dope too. So that one goes in B tier. Episode 5, man.
I will have no argument. This is top tier, S tier, bro.
One of the greatest Marvel animated episodes of all time.
That shit was so crazy, bro.
The Geonosis Massacre. This was the Gambit Sacrifice. Man. This was tears. I watched this episode maybe 3 or 4 times, and the first time I watched it, I got teary-eyed. The second time I went back and watched all the episodes again, I was like, bruh.
Yeah. Listen, bro. The way that this... You don't watch Game of Thrones, but like in the original run of Game of Thrones... where like episodes would end in cliffhangers that would leave the entire internet like in like shock.
Yeah,
this had that kind of impact.
Facts.
Like niggas was stunned at what they were watching. It's incredible stuff.
Incredible.
Easily S tier.
Easy S tier. On a lighter note, I saw somebody on Twitter, and the question was, who's the least effective X-Men, and somebody said Cable has been canonically failing his one mission for 200 years.
That's brutal, dog. I mean, you can't really argue with that. He been catching L's.
But somebody said Cable's been canonically failing his single mission for 200 years.
That's tough, bro. Like, is there anything we can say to support our boy?
No, we can't.
That sucked. Damn, Cable the weakest X-Men. That's trash.
Oh goodness, hilarious. Whew. Then we got episode 6 was Life Death Part 2. This was what's this villain's name?
Bastion.
No, this was
which villain are you talking about?
The one, the creature that was Storm had to overcome when she was getting her powers back. Storm Forge.
I
don't remember, but I do know this story. This is, I believe this is that X Factor story. what's it called? Fall of the Mutants, maybe. But yeah, this episode was dope. I would put this in A tier, especially the moment where Storm gets her powers back. Oh, so good.
Deathbird calling the Milky Way, or calling Earth a Milky Way ghetto, is a top 10 bar of all time.
Bruh.
That shit was so disrespectful. I got mad. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute.
And then we got episode 7, which was Bright Eyes. This was the one that we were talking about just a little bit ago, where they pretty much start hitting the streets looking for Bolivar trash.
Hey, have you seen? Hey, tell that nigga to come out. I'm looking for him.
Oh man, Rogue bullies Captain America.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like I just think when other superheroes are put on screen with X-Men in this show, I think it's gonna kind of make them look Boy Scouty and you know what I mean, and not without even being intentional. It's just the way the characters are made and written.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what happened to Cap here, you know. And she threw a shield to Mars.
Go fetch. You're not gonna do nothing about it.
Episode 8, Tolerance is extinction. This was the.
I'm gonna put that one in. Only reason I'm put the episode 7 in tier A is because I'm almost certain that the rest of these bitches is gonna end up in S tier.
This episode was really good. This was the one where we start learning about
the plan starts coming together.
The plan starts coming together, and we get was this the episode where we got was this the Nightcrawler Wolverine fight?
Yes.
Or was that, oh my goodness, that.
Bro, the scene where he takes him through the fire and brimstone dimension.
Goodness,
that's
man.
one of the coldest like little one shot scenes ever.
It
dog.
was so good.
To me, this is an advantage. I love comics, but this is an advantage that a well made animation has over comics. Is you get to see what that really looks like.
Facts, and this episode was really dope.
And bro, y'all people, Nightcrawler has always been one of my favorite X-Men. He used to be like my absolute favorite X-Men when I was younger, just because he was blue and blue was my favorite color. But like, people really underestimate how, in terms of like hands and feet and tail,
and his power,
and how he uses them in battle.
Oh my gosh, it's
like
crazy.
In a straight up 1-on-1 scrap, like it's not. I can think of. I would take Wolverine over him in a scrap. I would take maybe Cable and maybe Storm. That's it. And in terms of just a straight up like scrap,
his power is crazy. And the
ain't
way
nobody
he uses it is crazy. And this show is easily the best Nightcrawler that we've seen on screen. He's so good in the show.
And Nightcrawler is I'm glad that he had a role as like one of the big dogs, because he's always been
so
on the X-Men.
Let me ask this.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the big dogs, which is even further shown in the Krakoa age and that stuff. But
he's on the quiet console.
Do you think we will see? Because it just like how you just said that it's good to see him be one of the big dogs, and then it just makes me think of kind of what's going on in the X-Men comics now. Do you think that they'll ever do any of that stuff? Because one thing I do think this show's good at is doing. Because I mean, even just this season, we're seeing things from the 80s, we're seeing things from the 90s. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, I think, I don't know if I said it on the pod, but we talked about this offline. If I were writing X-Men for the MCU, the story that I would start with, it would be House of X.
I think it's right there, and it's so good. And it just gives you a world that we haven't seen, and
it serves as like almost a soft reboot to the X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be easily, especially now that we have X-Men 97 and we have we understand why Krakoa needs to exist.
Bruh.
I said this a long time ago, bro. Like if they were to start today, my X-Men movie would be, I wouldn't even call it X-Men. I would call it House of X.
That would be. All right, man.
Make the call.
And then we got episode 9, which was
crazy.
amazing. I mean, for me, man, this and episode 5, the Gambit Sacrifice episode, these are 2 of the absolute greatest, just Marvel animated episodes.
These are my top 2 best episodes.
Yeah, me too. And then we get the finale, episode 10, Tolerance's Extinction. Obviously, I thought this was great. And then obviously the icing on the cake was the ending and the Easter eggs at the end. So I mean this is an exaggeration. This is how good this show was. I mean, we have what, 6 episodes in S tier. We have 3 in A tier, 1 in B tier. So
this is a phenomenal.
This is how good this show was. Not exaggerating, man. You guys need to watch it if you haven't. X-Men 97. Greatest Marvel cartoon of all time.
Yep.
Boom.
Easy
peasy. Loved it. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's go. All right, man. This is going to be fun. You can only pick 3. We haven't done this in a long time either. You can only pick 3 female X-Men members and characters.
So what do we got here? We got Mystique, we got Rogue, we got Psylocke, we got, is that Siren?
So we have, my bad. So we have Mystique, we have Psylocke, we have Rogue, we have Hope Summers, we have Storm, we have X-23, we have
White Queen.
The White Queen, Emma Frost, Jean Grey, and Polaris, Magneto's daughter.
Yes. Lorna Dern.
Lorna Dern.
I was about to say, Siren feels out of place here. We need to. She's cool, but
that's Hope.
Yeah, she's wearing the Phoenix colors, the Marvel Girl colors.
Yeah, and she be carrying the cable gat sometimes too.
Yeah. Hope Summers. Not related to the Summers. Confusing, actually.
One of the most confusing characters, in my opinion.
100%. And for that reason, I'm not picking her. Obviously, Storm. Like, come on, what are we doing?
Omega level.
This is actually easy for me.
It is.
This
I
is
think
easy
it's
for
gonna be
me.
easy for me too.
I already know who your. I think I know who your 3 is gonna be, but this is gonna be easy, bro. Give me my 2. There are 2 Omega levels, 3 technically if you count Hope. Oh yeah, she's another one that's been confirmed.
Hope is a Omega level mutant.
Yes. Rachel Summers has not been confirmed, but she hosted the Phoenix Force, which feels like you kind of gotta be if you
Facts.
get that. Anyway, so yeah, it's got give me the two Omegas. Give me Storm. Give me Jean Grey, and give me Laura Kinney, X-23.
Did they ever? Has Hope's powers ever been? I feel like she can do everything.
Well, what she can do, the way that I understand it is that she's got like, she can like, bro. It's so hard to explain, bro. Like
that's what I'm saying. I've seen her do literally everything.
So let me look it up just to be sure. But I think the way her power works is that she can like modify and like increase the powers of people around her and like borrow their powers as well.
Okay.
Power. Yeah. So power absorption, power mimicry. And she also is a telepath and a telekinetic.
Yeah.
And she's got psionics, which basically just mean
Energy
when they say
blast.
psionics, they basically mean, nigga, if you want to shoot some stuff out of whatever part of your body, that's what that means. But yeah, I think she is an Omega level at the power mimicry and the power absorption. And she also, I think, can amplify other people's power as well.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like Leech, except the opposite and on steroids.
Right. Yeah.
And like Rogue.
She's a house.
Also. And another character that I'm going to talk about later, but like an extreme version. Matter of fact, let me change my, yeah. Now that you mention it. Okay. Oh, wait. Never mind. I can't because we can only have one. But that's all right. I still got something.
Follow the rules, guy.
I still got something for y'all ass. So yeah, that's my 3. Give me the 2 Omegas, the 2 Omega sisters, and X-23.
Oh,
Easy peasy.
yeah. This is. This ain't that difficult for me. Obviously, give me Storm, K, Aurora, Monroe, it's my girl, Omega level mutant, Beast. Going Storm first. Then I'm gonna take Psylocke, of course. One of my favorite Marvel characters, one of my favorite X-Men characters ever. Got confusing there in the 90s for a minute.
They figured it out finally.
They figured it out, and Quanon is back in the
and has her same
Psylocke
powers.
Body.
They
And
both have each
like,
other's powers.
They're like
or like
together in each body almost. Yeah. So give me Storm, Psylocke, and who did you pick?
X-23, Laura Kinney.
I'm gonna pick X-23 too, man. I'm gonna go Storm, Psylocke, and X-23 too. I love Rogue. I think Polaris is cool too, but I'm gonna go with Storm, Psylocke, X-23. That's gonna be my 3 right there, Laura. Yeah. Boom.
Polaris is an example of a I don't know this to be true, but a lot of people in the comic book industry or in the comic book world think that this is an example of a fan theory that just got willed into truth. Like a lot of people for the longest time just assumed that she had to be Magneto's daughter.
Yeah, because she had the metal power.
And they were finally like, all right, fine. Here we go.
That's hilarious. They got bullied into...
Yeah. All right, whatever. Here you go.
They bullied them. Boom. All right, man, let's go. Fun part coming up. We have a couple fun parts, but let's go, man. Draft. It's time. It is time for the X-Men team draft.
Boom.
We're going to go back and forth.
Boom.
We're going to draft our team of X-Men. But there's one rule.
Mm-hmm.
You can only have one Omega level mutant on your squad.
No problem.
One.
No problem.
I was over there with a full team of...
I got 2 teams. I'm gonna share them because I put a lot of thought into it. I'm gonna share whether I'll actually draft them or not. I'm gonna share them afterwards.
I bet. Who's gonna get the first pick in the draft?
Whatever. I'm down either way.
You got a coin?
Let's see.
Let's flip a bottle cap.
Coin flip. All right.
The internet.
Heads or tails?
Tails.
It was tails.
You
got first. Who you got?
With the first pick in the X-Men team draft. What are the teams? Blue and
gold.
I'm going to be team blue. You be team gold.
Fair.
Team blue selects its team leader, Storm.
Strong. I knew you would. I thought that you might go there. So I'm gonna do something surprising here that I think will still let me build my team the way I want. With my first pick, I'm not going to pick an Omega level. I'm gonna pick Apocalypse.
Oh no! He got me.
Yep.
You got me. No, you picked my guy. Oh, that hurts. That hurts. With my second pick in the X-Men draft, Hero snipes me and picks my favorite X-Men character first because I thought he was going to pick an Omega level mutant, and he got me. So now, with my next pick, I'm going to take some muscle, and we're going to go with Wolverine.
Yeah, now you return the snipe. But there are options. There are options. So with my next pick, I'm going to get my Omega. Give me fully realized Queen, not quite Queen Mother yet, Queen Auntie Jean Grey.
Wow. And that means that Magneto is unavailable for both of us.
I have a plan. I have a plan of action. I got a game plan, bro.
Oh God.
I got a game plan.
With my third pick in the X-Men draft, I'm gonna add a little flavor here. I'm gonna pick Nightcrawler.
Nice. Nice. All right. So to make my strategy come to life, I'm gonna pick my first utility player. Team Gold selects Rogue.
Oh, wow. This is funner than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
With my fourth pick for Team Blue, we're sitting at Storm, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and sad that we lost out on Apocalypse. But all is not lost. With my fourth pick, I am going to pick a time-traveling soldier. I'm going to take Cable here with my fourth pick.
It's a good one. All right. With my fourth pick, I need to pick. So this spot would have gone to Wolverine. I need a handsman. I need a killing machine. I need a muscle powerhouse. It's not a lot of people that can stand in the ring with So okay, I can do a few different things here. There are alpha level mutants. No, I'm gonna stick to my strategy. So I was gonna pick Charles Xavier here, but he's kind of
that would have been a really good one.
It would have, but I'm good because I want to stick to my strategy here. So give me another powerhouse with hands. I'm gonna go with. Oh shit, Deadpool. I'm an idiot.
That's a good pick.
Deadpool.
That is a good
That's
pick.
the one guy who can stand in the ring with Wolverine.
That's a good pick.
Even though he's nuts, but that's okay. We can rein him in.
Okay, so for my last pick, so I really treated this like it was a draft. I got my big board here.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And you really sniped me, dog. Like look, my big board literally said Storm/Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But I was really trying to get me an Omega level on the team. So there are three X-Men left that I would love to have on the team.
Mm-hmm.
There's three. Oh, this is gonna be tough. All right. There's three left that I really like. But I think with my fifth pick, I'm gonna just go ahead and get my girl on the squad. I'm gonna take Psylocke with my fifth pick, leaving my X-Men team: Storm, Wolverine, Nightcrawler, Cable, and Psylocke, which I absolutely
It's a strong
love.
team. All right, so the last piece to the puzzle here that makes the strategy come to life. You've got three powerhouses. You've got Jean Grey, you've got Apocalypse, who are both like damn near almost cheats to become two Omegas, but not quite. You also have access to White Phoenix of the Crown, which is why I had to get her. And then I had Deadpool as my handsman. I was gonna go Laura Dern there, Laura Kinney there, but she doesn't quite have the experience that either of them have yet. Then I have Rogue, whose power is to be able to absorb other powers and keep them in many cases, right? I'm going to keep that strategy going because I want to multiply my powerhouses. This is such a fucking hipster ass pick, bro. This is me digging in the second round for a Nikola Jokic. Give me Sync.
Oh my God.
Because his power is basically to be able to mimic other people's powers.
Jeez.
So now I got two Apocalypses and two Jean Greys. I got two Apocalypses, two Jean Greys, and Wolverine, or Deadpool.
Wow!
I really thought about this shit, bro.
I see that.
So my original team, the team that I was going to pick, it would have just basically replaced Wolverine with Deadpool. And then my just for fun, that's my like overkill. If I just want to pick a team, I just got 5 X-Men and I need to fucking and I need to go against anybody in the Marvel universe. That's the team I would pick. But just my like 5 favorites, I would have went Storm, Nightcrawler, Gambit, Wolverine, and Shatterstar.
You know Shatterstar's my guy.
Yeah, he's dope.
That is such a good team. That's fire. That was dope. All right, man. So we saw season 1 of X-Men 97.
Mm-hmm.
What character, if you had to pick one character that you want to see in season 2 that was not in season 1, so not including cameos, because there were some cameos, but just a character that wasn't featured in season 1 that you want to see the most in season 2, who is it?
Easy. Iceman, easily.
Nice. That's a really good pick. So obviously for me, I would say Apocalypse, but he is obviously clearly going to be in season 2, so I'm not going to say him. I think for me, it's definitely Psylocke easily. When Morph changed into her during that one fight scene, I was almost like, wait, what? And then it was Morph. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't she in a scene though?
She was in that scene at the end
with
she was in
with Monet St. Croix and all of them.
She was in a scene in the last episode. Yeah. So yeah, man, I think I want to see her in the show as well. I also, you know what, man, Bishop. I love Bishop, man. I want to see a little bit more of him.
Yeah, well, they got him for like 2 episodes.
Yeah, he's the time traveler in the X-Men universe. Like, he's the guy. All right, man, let's go. We got a fun top 5 here to close things out. The X-Men have had so many good storylines and events in the comic books over the years. Give me your top 5 favorite X-Men comic storylines / events.
Yes. All right.
This is one of the nerdiest episodes we've ever done.
Yeah. There's so many. I didn't even really think about this till now, but I know what my... That's okay. I got it. I got it. I know what my number 1 is going to be. It might surprise some people. So, number... Yeah. Oh my God, there's so many good ones.
There's a lot, man. There's so many good ones. There's a lot. There are a lot of good ones, and the recent ones.
Yeah, So, okay, do we count Civil War as a X-Men storyline?
I think for the sake of this, we shouldn't.
Fair, because there's enough to...
Because they have, there's enough, there's a lot of X-Men stories that are theirs without crossing over into other titles like that are good.
Okay, so, all right, fine. So number 5.
I'm signing Cyclops as an undrafted free agent, by the way.
Nice. All right, give me Xavier. give me Xavier.
Off
waivers, bro. Give me Xavier from House of X though, specifically. That version, he ain't give a fuck.
Doug.
Okay, so damn. All right, honorable mention would either be... It's like I'm flip flopping between honorable mention and number 5. X-Men versus Avengers. I think that'll be my honorable mention. X-Men versus Avengers.
Good, man. That was good.
Yeah. And then number 5, I'm gonna go with Fatal Attraction.
X-Men.
They did. I mean, they
won, dog. I don't care. I know the Phoenix Force went into people. And
no. Listen, I think that they... Obviously, I agree that they won, but it's just like the way that they did afterwards was just like,
dirty.
man, let's get you guys out of here right quick. Like, fuck out of here.
Yeah,
stupid. So I'm gonna do Fatal Attraction into Onslaught as number 5, and that's not because it's bad. It's just because there's so many great ones.
What you mean? It's the top 5. That's good,
right? But like some people, it's only number 5. Like, bro, it's some fire ones. Bro.
I can literally think right now, maybe 10 like really good X-Men comic book story events. Yeah. So yeah, being in the top 5 is.
I got so many, bro. Like, there's Decimation. I'm gonna get to that in a second. Okay, so number 4. This might upset you a little bit, but I'm telling you, it's only because there are really good ones. I'm going to go Age of Apocalypse number 4.
Hey.
Age of Apocalypse. There's been a few different versions of Age of Apocalypse. It gives us some of our favorite characters. You get to know more about Cable. You get to know more about Strife. You get to know more about Rachel Summers, the whole Summers family, his interactions with like Nathaniel Essex, and also... who I think, by the way, here's another deduction that I have that I feel almost certain about, is that you will see a version of Kang the Conqueror in season 2 as well.
Yeah, Rama Tut. Yeah.
because he played a big role in Apocalypse's beginning as well. So yeah, so Age of Apocalypse gave you all of that. That said, number 3, I'm gonna go Days of Future Past. Slightly outpaces Age of Apocalypse in my opinion, just because of like Days of Future Past just sets everything up, dog. Mm-hmm. Like this inevitable future of mutants being exterminated by Sentinels. It is the backdrop that drives all of the X-Men stories moving forward. More on that in a second. Number 2, and I feel like people sleep on how fucking dope this shit was, even though it had bad implications. Bro, House of M, dog.
Bruh.
House of M was so good,
I don't think
bro.
that people sleep on it though. I think it's what you said. I think it had such bad thing happen that people just
it makes you sad a little bit.
It's like Grave of the Fireflies, dog.
Yeah,
like
facts,
it's a classic. But
because you know what happened? I don't know if this is on purpose or not, but like House of M set the stage for the MCU to have reason to
not include the X-Men.
To not only that, to downplay the X-Men in the comics, right? Like that, like they straight up tried to replace the X-Men with the fucking Inhumans, which was crazy, bro. Right? Don't you ever disrespect my X-Men? Crazy, bro.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So, but the story though, the story and like how much it. Like the X-Men world has yet to recover from that shit. Like it was.
Bro, this was in what 2006,
like 6 or 7, yeah.
And it's still
it's been almost 20 years
recovering from this
because it led. I mean, it kind of led almost in a straight line to what we have now. It led to Decimation, which then led to Messiah Complex, which then eventually led to X-Men versus Avengers, which then led into Secret Wars and the role that X-Men played in that. And after they rebooted everything, it led into number 1. God damn it!
No way, dog. Number 1.
Hell yeah, bro.
Let's go.
Jonathan Hickman, House of X, Powers of X, bro.
The GOAT. Hey,
hell yeah, dog.
I already told you. I think this era and just what they got going on right now is the best thing that's happened to X-Men. It's I
crazy. Sure hope so, because I've not read I haven't read Reign of X, and I've not read.
I mean, so I usually look at comic book events in their own like vacuum, right? Like I look at House of like. If I don't like what's happening afterwards, I'm just gonna take House of X and Powers of X and put it in this little box right here.
Yeah, facts. And in that, from that perspective, because bro, like, you know what I mean? Never,
it's so good, man.
Since Chris Claremont have we had a nigga sit us down and say, all right, look, here's what we got,
bro,
and just built the world seamlessly,
built the whole world differently. You finally got Professor Xavier seeing the world for what it is finally, and not trying to hold hands with humans, and finally being like, all right, look,
right, we gave y'all,
you know what I'm saying,
a chance,
and y'all keep trying to kill us, and y'all keep killing. You don't keep trying, you keep killing us.
Y'all tried to assassinate me just a minute ago,
bro.
Y'all tried, and then they went up to the Magneto, and then went to the that World Economics forum.
Yeah.
Y'all niggas tried to take us out today, right now.
Like the ambassadors weren't even real people.
Bro, y'all niggas tried to take us out right now.
Bro.
I had my guy handle the shit, so don't worry about it. It's good. Cyclops, bro, best panel ever was when Cyclops was like, hey, can you help me out right quick? And this nigga Magneto, while eating a steak, said, from 5 floors up, and disarmed the fucking guys in the basement. Just because that's how powerful he is.
This, like, it's just, spoiler alert, I'm going to talk about House of X, Powers of X too, but this is the best, I don't know if it's, I just think this is the most sense that all of these characters make, because you 100%. Bro, you finally have, this is mutant liberation, bro. Like, you have, everybody's on the same page. Good mutants, bad guys. Everybody is coming together, finally realizing that, yo, this is about mutant kind. It's not about my perspective. It's not about your perspective. It is about what's
trying
best
to survive
for mutants.
Yep, trying to survive, man.
It's just
trying to survive, dog.
Incredible.
By the way, speaking of House of X, did you have full understanding of what Sinister, how he was there? Because he's not originally a mutant, right?
Yeah, that I did not. That was another question that I was gonna ask you.
So here's how I understand it. It's a little ambiguous, but the best understanding that I have is that Sinister's whole thing, he was not a mutant at first. He's not a mutant at all.
Yeah, and he's in a now. Is it because of his knowledge in breeding and cloning?
Kind of, but that wouldn't have been enough for Xavier. So here's what happened. It was because of the fact that he has just like a database of mutant DNA. That's because they needed him for the 5.
For the 5.
But the real reason is that even though he was not a mutant, one of the things that he does is he's been cloning himself for like the past like 20 years or more.
Yep.
And if you remember when they first emerged, when they first approached, when Xavier and Magneto first approached Sinister, he got killed by another Sinister clone. And the Sinister clone straight up says, "I am the Sinister with the X gene." So what that means is after he's cloned himself so many times, he actually cloned a version of himself that had a naturally occurring X gene. So he is a mutant.
Crazy, bro.
He actually is a mutant now.
That's wild.
And so he killed off the original, the mutant version killed off the original version, and now like the version that we have on the Krakoa and Quiet Council is an actual X gene mutant.
X gene mutant. That's wild.
Jonathan Hickman, bro.
Go writer.
Man, telling you, bro, he is the man.
Tried really hard the other day to. I'm sitting here thinking of not just X-Men stuff, but just like some of my favorite comic book stories, and I'm like,
he wrote a lot of them.
He wrote a lot of them. He wrote Infinity. He wrote X of Swords Power, or he wrote Ten of Swords. He wrote
all of that shit.
House of X, Powers of 10. He wrote Infinity. This guy,
I mean, to me, the most impactful thing he did was reboot the whole fucking Marvel comic universe with Secret Wars,
Secret Wars, man. Like
and Hickman's Fantastic Four. That shit was fire.
This guy is.
He had a Dark Reign run with the Avengers.
He's the guy.
He's cold, bro.
He's the guy. All right, man, let's go. It's my turn. Top 5 favorite X-Men storylines, events, so many good ones. I'm just going to get into my list. And, there's some old ones that are just, hold a lot of weight, man. Days of Future Past, Fall of the Mutants, some of that stuff. The Mutant Massacre, I think was the first one they ever did. I love Messiah Complex. House of M, like you said, so good. Would never read it again. It's just one of those things. Brutal. Dog, there is a picture of Cable from Messiah Complex where he is running and he's got the baby carrier on, dog. That's like one of my favorite images from a comic book. But let's go. Number 5. For me, this is tough. There are so many good ones, but for number 5 for me, I'm going to go with Executioner Song. Or I guess Executioner Song. You know how they be doing stuff like that. Executioner Song, man. That's
another one that was kind of tough.
Yeah, man. Well. This is one of my favorites from the 90s. This is a story where you get the Strife and Cable thing. This is, they kind of like loosely did this in the 90s cartoon. Mm-hmm. They didn't do it for real, but they, like I said, they were good at blending stories together and you know what I mean, kind of making it work for the animated series. But this is the story where Cable shoots Professor X and it affects him with the techno-organic virus, and then it turns out to be the clone who is Strife that Mr. Sinister made, and then it's just, you just get all these dope fights because you got the X-Men that are pissed at X-Force because they think that Cable, did this to Professor Xavier, but it was really Strife, the clone. So now you got the X-Men fighting with X-Force, and there's like this really dope fight with Cable and Bishop kind of or Wolverine and Bishop jumping Cable.
I think it was. I think it was the legacy virus.
No, it was. So that's what comes from this story.
That's how they created it. Gotcha.
Exactly. So it was the techno-organic virus, but then, and then like, I don't remember exactly what happened to Apocalypse in the story, but he's kind of like resting. You know, he has to rest to kind of build himself back up after he's, you know, almost died or whatever. And Strife ends up impersonating him and then controlling his horsemen. So you got this crazy thing going on. And then you got Apocalypse actually heals Professor Xavier. So this was like one of the first times that he worked with the X-Men. And then what happens is at the end, it's like this big battle, and Cyclops it's like this time vortex, and Cable pretty much sacrifices himself to get rid of Strife, and Strife leaves behind this tube, and then
it was the evolved version.
Exactly, and they open it and there's like nothing in there, but it ends up exposing everybody to the legacy virus,
which is like
kills,
bro. It's like, I mean, this is an uncomfortable metaphor, but it is sort of like HIV for mutants. Which,
again, more commentary on.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, just insane. Nobody, we say it all the time, nobody does commentary like X-Men.
Nope.
Come on. But yeah, that's my number 5 Executioner song, Fire. And also, just come on, it takes place in my favorite era of just everybody being drawn 8 feet tall.
Right, bro.
400 pounds of muscle.
400 pounds of pockets.
My number 4, man, Fatal Attractions, bro. We just talked about it. Fatal Attractions is going to be my number 4. Number 1, just the coolest little holographic covers they were doing for this was, they were fire. And I mean, this is kind of the story where Magneto finally said, enough. I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah.
I'm going to destroy humanity with this asteroid.
Yep.
Dog. You know, this is when it was called Avalon. We get, this is when Magneto kind of shows up on Avalon, and Cable, he's connected to it somehow. He tries to stop Magneto, and this is like, we all know about Magneto pulling Wolverine's adamantium skeleton out at the end of this story, but this is also where he basically does the same thing to Cable. Yep. He was on one in this one. I think this is one of the best Magneto stories. He basically just makes the techno-organic virus just explode out of Cable's body. It's gross. It's pretty awesome though. And then this is where Xavier mind wipes Magneto, and this is the story that kind of leads to Onslaught. So that is my number 4.
He was gone too. Magneto was gone for like 5 or 6 years after that. And when he came back, we had problems. It was problematic, dog.
Man. Jeez, X-Men so good. My number 3. If it wasn't for nostalgia taking my number 2 spot, I'm admitting it, this would be my number 2.
Okay.
House of X, Powers of X at number 3.
Yeah.
I genuinely think this is the best thing that's ever happened to X-Men. I'm being so honest. I think
of the modern era, without question, and maybe of all time. I
think it is because it's just so, I can't explain. It's so cool seeing all of these mutants come together for a common goal, man. It's crazy. It's so weird. You see, you're reading this and you're looking at a panel that's got Professor Xavier, Magneto, and Apocalypse sitting at the same table on the same team.
Yeah.
There's that scene where Apocalypse has a suit on. He looks ridiculous.
With the giant. Yeah.
But it's so cool, man. You get Xavier finally giving up on his dream and finally doing what, everybody is needed. You kind of talked about this years ago. You were telling me how Apocalypse, he shows up on the island and Wolverine's like, whoa, wait a minute. And then
We gonna have a problem?
he literally tells, Professor Xavier Magneto, like, nah, I'm proud of y'all. This is all I wanted.
This is what I've been
you know
asking
what I
for
mean?
y'all.
Just it's so good, man. Then you get I think this is one of the best Cyclops ever. He's not on the council, but he's pretty much the head of all conflict, you know what I mean, affairs, and he's just a dog in this.
I think the only reason why he's not on the council is because he chose not to be.
Yeah. He's a dog in this, and I mean, I think this is
He's also trying to raise he's always spending time with his kids.
Yeah, that's facts.
With Rachel and Cable.
Yeah. And I also think that he's this is the best, I think, where which he's always supposed to have been a blend between Magneto's ideals and Professor Xavier's ideals, but I think they really like nail it in House of X Positive. And bruh, it's sad. That mission, the Mother Mode mission.
Oh shit! To having the
goodness gracious, and then
everybody died,
bro. Everybody. There was the
moment between
Nightcrawler and Wolverine, bro. Tears.
Yeah, that was tough.
That was crazy. And then, then you just find out how amazing the mutants have it on Krakoa with the way that they can resurrect people and the way that Cerebro basically stores the soul and essence.
It's a save state,
bro. It's just.
It's a memory card.
It's unbelievable, bro. Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's so good. So much just groundbreaking things going on in this. So that's my number 3. Sorry, I talked about it for a long time. Number 2, the nostalgia pick, Age of Apocalypse, man. Age of Apocalypse, although it is long and it goes through tons of different things, I think, like you said, it's so cool how this story has its own universe. You know what I mean? This is Legion, who is Professor Xavier's son, he travels back in time to kill Magneto, right? And then he accidentally kills his dad on accident, which basically causes a chain of events that, create a world where Apocalypse is kind of the ruler of North America, and mutants have taken over the world, and humans are kind of, a lower tier species now.
Yep.
And it's dope, man. I mean, you get all these crazy, weird, different versions of all these characters.
That's the best part.
That's the best part. You get Cyclops and Havoc are evil, and then you get Dark Beast, and then Wolverine's kind of weird, and he's, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's just, it's really dope, man. And then of course, I mean, you get the moment where, first of all, you get Magneto being the leader of the X-Men, which is fire. And then
that's one of the best versions of
it. It's one of my favorite versions of man. I love the appearance. I love the hair, the long hair with the 2 braids. Oh, it's so sick. And then obviously, you get one of my favorite moments of all time, which is Magneto literally ripping Apocalypse in half. So good. And my number 1, recency bias maybe, Doug, Swords of 10.
Yeah. 10 of Swords.
Or 10 of Swords, sorry.
Yeah.
X of Swords, 10 of Swords. I mean, it's written X of Swords, but it's supposedly supposed to be pronounced 10 of Swords. I call it X of Swords. I don't care.
I mean, it's based off of tarot cards.
Right. So we'll call it 10 of Swords. But 10 of Swords, this is my favorite X-Men story.
It's good. I mean, it was like ready-made for you specifically.
I think so.
It's like an anime, basically.
It is like an anime. It's
like,
bro,
let me go find my mystical sword specifically, and let me find my warriors that have to go through that trial to get their special swords.
It is this. I'm not kidding. It has such a fantasy element to it.
Yeah.
10 of Swords also just brilliantly retcons Apocalypse's backstory in the simplest way, to where everything he has ever done makes so much sense now. And his character has just taken this huge turn to where he's just like this character with all this depth now. And he's not just a Thanos type of, you know what I mean? And it makes a huge difference. This it's a lot going on, but I really think that Ten of Swords is really good, man. I mean, they make that retcon the Apocalypse backstory, which is amazing. It tells the story of how Krakoa was part of it was a place called Araco, and it was where all the mutants were, and Araco gets split into Krakoa and
not just any mutants. The way that I understood it,
it was the mutant.
It was the children of Apocalypse, and
Apocalypse. His 4 children were the original Horsemen, and his wife, who is strong.
Yeah,
she's. I believe they said she's an Omega level mutant. I'm not positive, but his wife is Genesis. She's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it just tells the story of how, you know, these lands got split and Apocalypse wanted to go fight with his wife and his family, and he basically, his mission was to basically stay back and basically cultivate the mutants of Earth, and you know what I mean, and the mutants of Earth to be as strong as they could possibly be for when the demons from this realm came to Earth to attack, you know what I mean? And that kind of explains why he's always been obsessed with you know, the Darwinism type of thing with him. And then basically with Krakoa, he ends up making this kind of like this portal, and then somebody comes through it, and it's his grandson, you know what I mean? And then he sets him up. I don't want to spoil it too much.
No, I read that
okay. And he's kind of sets him up, and then now there's this whole thing with this place called the Starlight Citadel, which is like kind of the center point of all these different worlds with Krakoa and Araco, and then you got Amthin. I can't remember the name of this place. There's so many names. Starts with an A. Amonth is like the place where all the monsters are coming from. Then you got Annihilation. Yeah. That's like his world. And then Annihilation is kind of manifested into this helmet. And then you find out that Apocalypse's wife made a deal with Annihilation, and she's got the helmet on. And then the lady who runs the Starlight Citadel, forget her name. She's ridiculously powerful.
Saturnine.
Saturnine, yeah. She is so powerful. She basically, you know, she's like, we got rules, you know what I mean? You can't just invade, you gotta do this. So then they agree to have this. It's an anime. They literally agree to have a fighting tournament called the Ten of Swords, where now each side picks their warriors, and everybody's got a sword that they have to go find. And they have to go find these swords, and this is where it comes into, we always talk about how events they kind of take place over all these different, now you can read the straight line books, right? Mm-hmm. And still get the story. But if you want to see the individual scraps and you want to see the individual characters' journeys of retrieving their swords, this is why you read the tie-in issues, right? Yeah. Which I think, you know, I told you, I think for Ten of Swords, I think it's worth it. I think you should read all of them. I've
read most of them.
Yeah, and just, bro, Apocalypse, man. I think this is the epic Apocalypse story. This is him getting this huge character change. I said before, I think it's really dope how his character has looked over the time of this Krakoan era. He's started to look way less influenced by the celestial technology. You know what I mean? He looks way different now, and he's kind of just this tragic, you know, warrior type of character, and I think it's really dope, and it's literally made him my favorite X-Men character. And I think, yeah, man, it is really dope. Ten of Swords, man, that's my favorite right now. So, boom, there we go. Read it.
Good.
Number 5, Executioner Song. Number 4, Fatal Attractions. Number 3, House of X, Powers of 10. Number 2, Age of Apocalypse. And number 1, Ten of Swords, X of Swords, whatever it's called. That is my new favorite. Boom.
Good.
Big X-Men episode. Look, man, I can't tell y'all again how much I love Ten of Swords. It is literally fantasy. It's got a little bit of It's got a little bit of anime vibe to it, like Hero said. Got to pick your warriors. Got to go on your adventure to get your swords.
100%.
It's really dope. And Apocalypse, man, he gives a fire speech before they go into battle. And that guy is my favorite.
That's good.
But yeah, man, that's it. X-Men. Read you some X-Men comics.
They back, man.
They back. Jonathan Hickman, GOAT.
Yeah, give him the keys.
Give him the keys.
Just let him write everything.
Let him write a movie. Get Ryan Coogler to direct it.
I mean, it's right there.
It is right there.
Instead, they're gonna do something else. Got some dork writing the X-Men movie. That guy looks like a dweeb, but I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. I'm holding out hope, man.
Don't.
Like, you can't fumble the bag after how good X-Men 97 was.
You
like,
can't.
You cannot.
Apocalypse the GOAT. It's Amador the GOAT. Yeah, man. Read you some X-Men comic books. It's back. House of X. You can literally start. You can just read House of X Powers 10. Just read that. That's it. You could start right there. And you could have not read an X-Men comic book
in 20
for the
years.
past 20 years.
Yeah.
And you could pick up House of X #1 and it is just rebuilding the whole world from scratch. And you will literally be like, oh, I'm current with everything.
It's all that matters.
Just pick up House of X 1 and read it. That's it. Start right there. And you'll be fine.
There it is.
Boom. New album, June 26th.
Hey!